Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is May 31st, kind of beautiful Sunday here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. We've received about 40 inches of rain this month. It has rained 15 out of now 31 days, and the bee yard is retaining some water, but it doesn't really flood out here. So we got a downpour yesterday of about 2 inches. The day before was about 12.5 inches. So the bees are taking any advantage in the break of the weather, and as you can see, hive number 1 is looking pretty strong based off the front entrance, but as y'all know, you can't tell too much from that, which is why we're going to get into the hive and conduct a routine inspection. Hey, if this is your first time checking out the channel, I would appreciate it if you subscribed, and if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. So in addition to the routine inspection, I'm just going to take a peek into the honey super just to see how they're doing. I might, if I have to, I might switch a few frames around. So the frames on the outside are usually the last ones to get drawn out or packed with honey and cured, packed with nectar and cured into honey. So if the center's looking good, I might swap a few around. But for the first time ever, I will be trying to mark the queen, as long as I can find her, with this. It is a one-handed catcher. Man Lake sells them for about 20-25 bucks, but you can find them on Amazon as well. And this is what it looks like. Saw it on, can't remember the gentleman's name, but I think he keeps bees down around Gainesville, Florida. So the concept, just like it's called, you find the queen, put the one-handed catcher over her, and you can, I keep doing this backwards. I need to practice a little more. So it goes this way. And you slide that door over, and then, obviously not holding a camera might make it a little easier, you can push the plunger part up against the top section there and then mark her. So like I said, this will be the first time I've tried to mark a queen. I will be practicing on a few drones for obvious reasons, and that's it. So routine inspection, quick peek into the honey super, see how they're doing, and then hopefully I can find the queen and mark her. Oh yeah, if you haven't watched last week's video, let me get you up to speed real quick. So again, routine inspection, I do them on Sundays. So I was out here a week ago, and I was not able to find the queen, but hive number 1 did have a queen cell higher up on the frame. Some people say it was a supersedral or maybe an emergency cell. I ended up tearing it down, so this week, for sure, I need to either find the queen or find eggs, meaning they're still queen right. So enough me yapping, let's get into the hive, see how they're looking this week, and hopefully I'll be able to use what seems to be a pretty cool tool, this one-handed queen catcher, as long as I can remember to position it this way. For whatever reason, I keep wanting to position it that way, which obviously would not work. All right, let's set the inner cover over here, put it that way, and get the camera set up. There we go. All right, let's see how they're doing. So with the weather we've received, again, we're at 40 inches this month, which is the most rain we've received since I've lived here for the last few years, and not having a hurricane down on top of us. So yesterday wasn't too bad. I think we had a afternoon shower that dropped about 1.5 inches. The day before, it literally downpoured, and we had, I think, about 12.5 inches on Friday, Saturday or Friday, one of those 2 days. I don't want to disturb them too much, but I do want to see just how things are going with them curing the honey and all, or curing the nectar. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but get a look at that center frame. So they're definitely doing the typical thing, working from the center to the outside. So the nectar flow this year has been very odd, meaning some places people are saying it's already stopped. Some places that beekeepers suspect that our hives are still bringing in nectar. So my original intentions were to leave the supers on until the end of July. Just so they can maximize their time. But the frame next to this one looks even better, as in it looks more capped. So let's just take a look. Yeah, I mean they're doing what they're supposed to do. Oh yeah, that's what I was mentioning with the weather. Really the concern is with that amount of weather keeping the bees in the. Let's take a look into the brood chamber. That's why I'm really out here. Try not to disturb them too much, but this usually helps. Yeah, it's got some nice weight to it. That's a good thing. It's been a lot of curveballs this year. And if y'all haven't watched the previous videos, you may notice I finally got around to swapping the plastic queen excluder with a metal one for this colony. And again, if you haven't watched the previous videos and don't know why I'm talking about that, oh yeah, let me check this. Here's another tip for you. Check the bottom side of your queen excluder for the queen, because you never know, she might be on there. I don't think she is though. Yeah, I had a plastic excluder on this one for a long time, and there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, they're inexpensive. I've had them for a few seasons now. But the only thing I don't like about them, they're not rigid. So, you know, why am I talking about that? Well, if you look back at the previous videos, whenever I go to remove the queen excluder, it usually shoots a bunch of bees up into the air and just disturbs them more than I would like. So that's the advantage to the metal ones. They probably last longer as well, but the main advantage for me is it doesn't jar the bees loose or disturb them as much, because it is rather pleasant when you have pretty calm bees to deal with. Alright. So again, every frame checking for the queen, because you never know where you're going to find her, but for the most part the outside frames are typically food frames. As you can see, a lot of cured honey, and there's a drone, so I am going to try this thing out for the first time. There's that drone. Lucky guy. There he is. Let's see. Should be in there. Yep. Is he? Man, it's hard to see. Okay. Alright, got the drone. So now, first time using this, you all get to see how this goes. Let's get the drone pushed. Now he's actually trying to get out. Oh, don't want to do that. I had my paint marker primed previously. If that worker bee can get out of there, that'd be fantastic. Let's see. This thing moves around. It's really hard to see through your veil sometimes. Alright. Oh wow, that takes, I'm glad I'm practicing, because that takes no pressure at all. I actually have to use two hands, kinda. There you go. Marked drone. Okay, I feel pretty good. Granted, that was the first time doing that, so I might try again. And then you can just back off the plunger, let them kind of move around a little bit, dry out. But yeah, there's a marked drone for you. And I just set him free into the wild because I don't want him back in the hive. It caused me confusion finding a marked drone when I'm really looking for the marked queen. But in order to have a marked queen, you got to find her first. Some bees bringing in some really nice pollen. So because this is a single brood chamber, there is the potential of the queen laying eggs all the way out on the outside frames, which is why I'm looking. But it looks like that's just your typical food frame. I'm gonna give myself a little more room and pull this second frame out as well. I put it back in, which I usually don't do. They're definitely a little more agitated than usual, which I don't want to say it out loud. Sometimes that is a sign. Sometimes that's a sign that they don't have a queen, but I'm only 3 frames into this, so. That call based off of that one thing. I'm hoping they're just agitated because of the weather, really. They've been cooped up. Yeah, they're taking any advantage of the breaks in the weather, but I can imagine they haven't been able to forage as much as they've been used to. Alright, let's see. There's a queen cup. That's actually a queen cup. You can see food in it. I'm not going to try and show the camera because I know it won't come up. But yeah, that's a wet queen cell. I don't know why the bees like the smoker so much, or not the smoker, but the camera. But yeah, frame 4 right here. That is a queen cell, meaning it has an egg in there. So because of that, we will in the next week rather quickly. Definitely need to see if they have a queen or not. And if they don't, just have to let that go and develop into a queen, really. This is another good frame to check for eggs. Pupated larva right here, which means, that happened between the last 4 to 9 days because it's not capped. And around the pupated larva is usually a good area to find eggs, which don't see any just yet. Pattern there. that's frame 5. Nice little bit of cap brood remaining from last week, and pupated larva, which happens between day 4 to day 9 before it's cooked, but no eggs. So what's that, 5? Alright, so we're on 6. It's a whole bunch of cap brood there. That looks nice. I'd really like to find a queen this week so I can mark her. As I get to the left side of this colony, so frame 6 here, all the way through 10, I'll slow down and really check each frame thoroughly, because this is usually where the brood pattern picks up a lot, because the left side catches first sun, and from what I've noticed over the last year or so, that seems to be where the queens favor more so than the right side of the colony. Oh. Wish the bees would get off the camera. Look at that queen cell. I don't think that was there last week. That's very odd looking, huh? Because it is... It's almost like they were developing it and then tore it down for some reason. Okay, let me smoke the camera. Actually, let me check this first. Alright. Let's see. There's bees like stinging the top. There's a stinger stuck in the camera, which I'm sure is not. They did this last year, and let me try and get this out. Hitting it with the smoker. There we go. Yeah, of course, there's another bee stuck in the lens. Alright, back to what I was doing. Let's check this frame. Eggs. That'd be a nice surprise. Very small pupated larva, so... Yeah, that is strange. Strange looking queen cell. You can see all the royal jelly. And it looks like we have eggs. Alright, so we do have eggs. They do have a queen. But here's a better look now that the bees are off the lens. It's a weird looking queen cell, huh? Let me check this side. It's really cool how you can see the development. Yeah, they have eggs. They still have a queen. Meaning, like, when you start to find pupated larvae, you can see the change in the size of it. And then you can almost track it down as it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's a wet queen cup too. Alright, so I have 2 wet queen cells to deal with, or maybe 3 if you want to include that one. But I really need to find a queen. And if they have a queen, I'll have to come back through and tear down those queen cells. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see the, if you backtrack the pupated larva as it gets smaller, you can pretty much trace it back to find eggs that way. Alright, where's she at? that occupy this first hive favor the left side of the chamber, because that's what catches the first sun. I think it heats up the hive or keeps it warmer. Maybe it's just better brood production on that side, but this is where I usually find most of the eggs. Alright, I don't think she's there either. Got 2 more frames. Alright, this looks promising. Where's she at? The sun's messing with my eyes. Keeps coming and going behind the trees here. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I did find her on the very last frame. Now that I say that out loud, that may have been hive 2 or 3. I don't think it was this one. I don't think I found her last week. Yeah, that's right. Which is why I was concerned if they were queen right or not. But they definitely have a laying queen. There's quite a few frames, plenty of eggs. So now it's just a matter of finding her. Alright, 1 more frame. I wish that was her. It's just a fat drone. Alrighty. Alright, so like usual, when I don't find the queen on the first pass, I'm just gonna turn the camera off, go back through the hive, and really thoroughly check each frame a lot slower and see if I can find her. And yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do now. And when we come back, hopefully I have found her, caged her, then I'll show you how I mark her. Alright, I'm back, but I did not find the queen on those frames. Actually, before I put this back together, I tore down the 1 queen cell on frame 3, but just in case I don't get a chance to come back out here when we get onto this frame, I believe it's this one, had a queen cell as well. They definitely have a laying queen, so as you can see, try and show you, that was a wet cell right there. So any queen cells they have developed, or queen cells, not queen cups, I'm just going to tear them down just to restart the clock for them. Man, that was a royal jelly there. Check that out. Yeah, 2 more frames. Haven't found the queen. Hopefully she's not on those frames because they've been outside the colony for a little bit. And as you can see, there's a lot of bees in this box. And the smoker's running on E. They yeah, I'm just going to check the last 2 frames, get them put back together, and like I've done in the past, I might just have to come out here later once they've settled down some and just go through them again. But that's really just because I want to mark the queen. It's not necessary at all. Clearly I've made it this far without having any marked queens, but just because I bought this one-handed catcher that I want to try out, I'd like to find her so I know if they proceed her or if the colony swarms. It'd be a pretty easy way to tell. But again, not necessary really. But they definitely have a laying queen. There's been plenty of frames with eggs. A few queen cells, as you saw, I tore down. So hopefully that prevents them from swarming within the next few weeks. Alright, last frame. I'd be pretty surprised if I find her on it, but you never know. But yeah, they're definitely agitated. I haven't hit them with too much smoke this time around. Alright, well, I don't see her. I'm not going to bother them too much more. That does it for this inspection. They're queen right. Just off finding plenty of eggs. A few wet queen cells. Not exactly a big deal. You saw I just kind of tore them down. And again, that might just prevent them from swarming. You never know. Alright, well, let's get them boxed up so they can enjoy a day without any rain. Okay. Let's take a look at the front of this entrance. Not as terrible as I thought, but they're definitely agitated. Alright, that does it for another routine inspection of my couldn't find the queen, therefore couldn't use this probably pretty handy one-handed queen catcher. Tune in to next week's video. Maybe I'll find her that time, or watch some of the other videos from this week, as I'm gonna basically attempt to do the same thing. I'm gonna find, out of all the colonies, I'm gonna find one queen. I'm telling myself that now, so I can use this queen catcher and see if it works as well, or as well as I hope it does. Alright, that's it for Cole's Farm in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's clearing up more and more, so hopefully it turns out to be a beautiful Sunday. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. And if you don't know, there's links up in the top right of our channel for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But we are also on those platforms. You can either use the link, or you can search Cole's Farm NC for North Carolina, and that'll take you to our pages. Again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you liked the video, and check out our other videos to see basically how I keep bees. Alright, thanks again. Tune in next week, and maybe I'll have a chance of using this thing.